Welcome, everyone. My name is Jeff St. Laurent. And as you can see, once again, I've got an awesome guest who I'm going to bring in just a second. Before we bring him on, I do record all of these shows. I put them in my university at sellingcoaching.com. I help coaches transition to a full-time business. We're going to talk to one of them right today. So great information around that, if I can say that. So check out my university. And if you want to get started right on the homepage at sellingcoaching.com, you'll see a great resource for you. If you enter your name and email, you'll get that audio resource, which is launching your full-time coaching business, the first 3 vital steps. That will also put you in my community where you can get some great information from me on a regular basis. But without any further ado, I want to introduce my awesome mentor coaching client, student, Tom Lipinski. Tom, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate being here.
So this is really cool because it's funny because when we were doing our work together not too long ago, Tom was watching some other students that I was interviewing, and Tom's like, I'm going to be on that show, and then so we culminated our work together, whatever, call it a month ago or so, a few weeks ago. And I'm like, Tom, it's time you get on this show. So why don't you start us off, Tom? Tell us, when you came to me, where were you at in the business? What were you looking for? Just to kind of give people, acclimate them to kind of where you started off. Let's call it 9 months ago.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, even it was only 2 weeks ago when we had our last session.
Yeah. It actually doesn't go that quick, which is good.
And I did say I'd be on your podcast in a year. And then on that last session, I said, hey, let's do it quicker. I'm ready now. And you said, all right. So I'm here.
He's here.
I believe what your question was ask your question again, just so I can be sure to answer.
Yeah, so it's just when you came to me 9 months ago, just kind of give people an idea of kind of like, what had you done? Where were you at in your business? Where you're like, I want some help.
Yeah. So I was watching this podcast, and there was a woman on there that had done, had no business or a little bit of business to just an outstanding business. And you asked questions and she answered and responded. And I was like, wow, that's pretty decent. I think I'm going to check that out. And I've known you from IPEC, so I did training there. And so that we just we connected, we had a conversation and walked through a few things, and then I'm your client. So it was a 9-month commitment, and it was awesome. So
let's talk about, we started to talk through, and we shared with each other, right? We're like, yeah, we did a lot of the tangibles, right? Like when you came to me, I know you had said like, I got to learn how to use my time, where to use it appropriately, et cetera. And we did a lot of that external work, right? The logistics, the networking, the conversations, what does that look like? But really where I feel like, and I know you said the most significant work we did was that inner work, which obviously created those external results. So start us off and share, kind of like, take us on that journey a little bit from your perspective.
Well, yeah, let me go back then. So I've been a real estate agent and broker for 33 years. I still have that business. I do very little in it right now. And I ran a team that was, on the top 0.5%. I mean, we did, 150 transactions a year, and we did a really good business, but my passion is to help people evolve, and to support people. I've always been a trainer. I've always been coaching. In real estate, I was a coach. I was a coach for some actual coaching companies. If I can name drop, Keller Williams has a coaching company, Maps Coaching. I was with Forward Coaching. But when I started pulling out of real estate to do more coaching and training, that great income that I was earning, it was disappearing, and it was intentionally disappearing, because I wanted to leave that it was no longer lighting me up, so that's when you and I connected. I was getting to the point where, my business has got to grow as a coach, or I'm back to full-time real estate, and I didn't want to do that, so yeah, we did go down the path of the external things, our different levels of marketing, and and you really helped me with a lot, helped me there with a lot of that. But where I would say the biggest, movement for me has been all this internal work that I've been doing. And it's not just, it was in our coaching, but it also goes back many years. And, it's getting me straight and is what made the difference.
Yeah, it really does. And I think that transition you're talking about, with real estate, et cetera, one of the things, or several of the things that I was very impressed with was, like, even right out of the gates, like, you realize, like, in order for me to really do this coaching business, you had to make some really big changes in your life. And you made some significant changes with real estate, with the team that you had, where you just now had to, you set yourself up for success. So you had more space for the business.
Yeah,
That was really huge.
it could have gone other ways. I ended up in August of last year dissolving the team. So, I had agents that worked for me, and they're all working for themselves right now, and they're all doing well. And but I did have to lay off an hourly employee who was relying on the job, and that was the hard part. But I did, if you want to say, blow up the team or dissolve the team. But I eliminated that, and that put me down as my own solo real estate broker agent. And the need to develop the coaching business was really important. But and I don't just have a coaching business, as you know. I teach I teach courses for a couple of I'm licensed to teach courses for a couple of companies. They're under I put them under the Everest Performance Coaching website banner, but they are separate licenses that I have. So I teach these courses, and then those courses are feeders for coaching clients. And then I've got a natural in with coaching real estate agents, because I'm almost like how you're a mentor coach for me. For a real estate agent, I'm kind of a mentor coach, for people evolving their lives, whether it's health, business, relationships, whatever they want to evolve. That really comes out of these two courses that I teach. And if I can say what my mission in life is, my purpose, it's my mission statement, my personal mission statement. It's, I'm a presence of love, opening space for myself, others, and the planet to evolve. So they get to pick what they want to evolve. So if could be anything, health, their business is failing, or maybe it's good and they just want even more good. So it's like, that's what I do, is I help people evolve. And I say that I'm on Tom 6.0 right now, because I've evolved so many times. And 6.0 is in the process of being created. And it kind of happened in the last month of our coaching, I think, where I declared 5.0 over and 6.0 beginning.
Big times. Yes. So yeah. But those are no small things. Like that represented a lot of transition for you, and those, like you said, those things weren't easy. But you recognized your drive for this was big enough that you were willing to do whatever it takes to get there.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of people are willing to do that.
Yeah. One of my strengths is persistence and integrity and responsibility. You can wrap that all into one. I might not be the fastest, but like the tortoise and the hare, I'll win the race, because it's like, I just stick with it. And that is a skill of mine, is to just stay with it, stay the course. It's all going to work. And it does.
It does. And there's a level of trust, that, and a level of awareness and work that you've done on yourself that allows you to do those things and get to that spot.
Yeah. Well, if I could say too, so back in January of 22, so, we're just talking, a little over 2 years ago, I went to a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat, and I've known of him for a number of years, but either when I pushed the button, it was always sold out, or I just felt it was too expensive to go. But I finally went, and then I became, I think I've gone since that time to 8 or 9 events. And in the middle of that, I met the people at the Neuro Change Solutions table. And Neuro Change Solutions is a company that teaches people the neuroscience and biology of change. And it really intrigued me because I'm kind of a scientific kind of a person. And a lot of things that people, a lot of the things I've gone to, courses I've gone to, they help you change for a day or a week, and then you're back to your old self. And this Neuro Change Solutions, I was able to learn how to change permanently, and then how to change again permanently. It's like never going back, always going forward. And that's where I became interested in the word evolution. And so that was a big step in the process. I had done some other things previous to that, with IPEC and then with these coaching companies I worked with, and even doing the Landmark Forum back in 2005, all the Landmark courses. So what really was cool too is then I get connected with Heart Math, and and then I decided to get certified with Heart Math. So between the Dr. Joe work, the Heart Math work, and the inner work that you coached me through, all of that combined is what has me where I'm at today. So I'm just grateful for this path that I've been on. And yeah, it's taken me in amazing ways, and you talked about the inner work. I think the inner work really begins with self-awareness. It's like a deep self-awareness of what's working, what's not working, how the brain works, how the body's really connected to it all. It's not a brain and a body, it's a brain body unity kind of a thing. It's all one, and it's that self-awareness, and really looking at the vanities that you have. At some point, hopefully we can talk about the pedestal thing that, I was dealing with, if you want to do that too.
Yeah.
Is that good right now?
Yeah, go for it. Well, I just want to echo something you said is you said it differently, right? But the mind body connection, right? There's the mind, there's the body, but there's a connection between the two. And then a lot of awareness that goes into how to integrate that. And so, so keep talking about this. This is good stuff.
So, in our hearts, we have 40,000 neurons, the same that we have in our brains, and then even in our gut, in our solar plexus area, there's a lot of neurons, and you have neurons throughout your whole body. But, when people say they had a gut feel, it's because their gut thinks there's neurons there, and then heartfelt feelings, there's a heart brain. And research done by Heart Math has proven that there's more information shared from the heart to the brain than the brain to the heart. So it's like I've gotten to this point where I can think with my heart, I can listen with my heart, make decisions with my heart, and it's an amazing thing. But this pedestal thing that was really huge for me, it's like I'd been aware of it, but I didn't distinguish it as fully as I had recently done, like maybe like a month and a half, 2 months ago. And I would put people up on the pedestal, and they would be like, I could name names, but they would be people that would be, I would say, were better than me, that I would look up to them. And it was cool to look up to people, but there was the other side of that, is that I was less than, so there was a duality, right? They were good, I was less than, and it was something to aspire to, but it still gave me that feeling of maybe a lack of worthiness or a lack of value or some kind of being less than, and then I realized I put myself on a pedestal, and there's people below me that are less than me. And I would really judge those people, and I would really judge myself, on the pedestal underneath the people above me, so the whole thing was fraught with judging. And I've learned to call that non-useful thinking rather than judging, because you can judge something to be good too. So it was non-useful thoughts that I was having about these people below me and the people above me. And what I realized, and I had to get heart-centered, I had to really do some quiet thinking, accessing my heart's intelligence. And I realized there are no pedestals. the people don't want to, the people that I had on pedestals, they don't want to be there. They just want to be doing their own thing. They just want to they want to be who they are and not be on my pedestal.
Right.
Okay. And then the people below me, of course, they don't want to be, underneath my pedestal. So I distinguish that there are no pedestals, and I distinguish that we're all connected, and on the quantum level, which is something that I have an interest in, especially, with my Dr. Joe work, Joe Dispenza work, that we're all connected on that subatomic level. So you and I are connected, you, me, and the people that are listening are connected, so it's like, there's no pedestals. We're all connected. We're all one. We're always doing our best in any given moment, given the circumstances. So it's like no one ever says, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to do half best today," or "I'm doing half best right now." They're always doing their best, always. So what that did was it got rid of these pedestals. Now I can take joy in somebody who's doing a really good job at something, and they might be a teacher for me in some way, but they're not up on a pedestal and I'm not less than. And then, people that I would put below me, I love them, and it's like, I care about them and I want to do whatever I can to support them so that they can be, they can evolve. So that mission of mine about evolution is so fulfilled. Matter of fact, if I have pedestals where people are on top or I'm on the pedestal, there's no way to perform to complete my mission. My mission's, I call it mission impossible if I do that. And it's mission possible if I don't have pedestals, and so it's been a really cool distinction or unearthing of, and it took self-awareness and it took a lot of work, to realize all this was at play.
It's so cool because as I'm listening to you, like I'm just laughing, like, and just like enjoying listening to you because it's the development, and it just brings me back to our sessions, right? Where I just remember these breakthrough after breakthrough for you and just how significant they are.
Yeah.
And now what that really allows you to do within your business, and even some of the technical pieces we worked on, right? Which is like approaching people and having conversations and following up with people. When you remove those pedestals, it makes all that so much more effortless.
Yeah.
Because it's not, oh, I can't talk to this person. Who am I to reach out? Or they don't want to hear from me, or they're not going to want to talk to me. It really does change the whole dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. You and I talked about, I am going to reach out to Gary Keller. He's the billionaire many times over that is at the top of Keller Williams Realty. And, and it's like, when I put his name down on the sheet, it was like, yeah, it's on there, but I'm not really going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll wait. It'll be the end of the year and it won't get done. And I haven't done it, but it's like, I don't have any angst at all about doing it. The only angst I might have is, how am I going to get to him? He's so well protected, but as far as me having a conversation with him, and talking about how I might support the company and the company's evolution or the leadership's evolution, or even key players in the empire, I no problem to having that conversation now. So, and then when you also said when we originally started our coaching agreement, I'll bet you I know there were times when it was like, oh man, this guy's tough. I don't know how I'm going to get him excited or turned on, or, cause I was complaining or I was moping around, and it's like, you probably haven't seen that, for about 3 or 4 months now, that's pretty much been gone because of this inner work.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely. But even when you get to that spot too, and as a coach and you work with clients, like when you get to that space with someone, like I never even saw it as that, right? Like you saw it like that. And that was just you working through that space. And that's where, when we just sit and allow things to be and trust that, like, listen, you're such an aware person that we just need to keep going down this path and get through some of the frustrating logistics of your day. That was all that transition when you blew things up. like there's just stuff that's frustrating, but you work through that. And there was always something in you that knew, they're like, I just got to get through this. Or, once I get through this, I'll have the time. And most people say, I'll do it but when you got there, you actually began to do those things.
Yeah. And as I hear you feed it back to me, I get that those were just non-useful thoughts I was having. And, I've forgiven myself of so many non-useful thoughts, and I have a little procedure for it that I follow, and, basically goes, I forgive myself for judging myself that, whatever it is. And I'll have to get heart-centered, intelligent to do that, and it might take some journaling, and then I get to the point where I'll say, for the real truth is, and that's what happened with the pedestals. It's like, for the real truth is there aren't any pedestals.
Mm-hmm.
For the real truth is, it is sometimes hard to get a coaching business off the ground successfully. So it's like when a person, that's such a huge thing, is to recognize those non-useful thoughts and to forgive yourself for having them. And then to really get to the essence of what really is the truth in the moment to you. That's a big part of it also.
It's a big piece. It's a big piece of it. I want to put your website up so people can check it out. everestperformancecoaching.com. Definitely check Tom out. I'm always impressed with you. What really, as I got to know you more, what was impressive was just even you outside of your business. Like I truly believe the way we are in one way, we are in every way.
Yeah.
And the way you operate your business, the way you are with, what you teach, what you believe in. As I listen to you, like, it's no surprise to me, but people listening to you, like, your mission, what you believe, it's all well-crafted statements that by heart that are impactful for you, but also like outside your life, like what you do in terms of how you develop yourself, the books you read, the clubs you're in, not just networking for business, right? But just with people, hiking and activity and exercise. Like, you're so disciplined with everything. And there's a lot to be said about that discipline, because a lot of people, they don't have that. And to have that in the different facets of your life,
Yeah.
I think that's what I shared with you one time. I'm like, consider, bringing some of that stuff in, because people are attracted to, like, how does he do all this stuff? Because most people aren't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It all starts with a thought, and then that thought will lead to some kind of an action, or even a choice before an action, and then you have an experience, and that experience will generate feelings, and those feelings will drive more of those same thoughts. So people will stay in these loops for years on end or lifetimes on end. But if you can have a new thought, and then take new actions and have new experiences and new feelings, that's how you can change, and that's what I've done. And, it's like, if you would have talked to me 3 years ago, could I ever quit drinking? It's like, I wouldn't want to, a glass of wine was always a fun thing, but I had a thought that, hey, I wasn't being my best self. And I don't tell people not to drink, but for me, it wasn't me being my best self. So
Yeah.
when you talk about discipline, or you talk about persistence, or staying on the game, it was like, yeah, I'll stop. And I did. And it's been the greatest thing, not the greatest, but it's been a great thing. It's like, I feel like brain fog that I never even thought was there lifted, and then, just recently, eating, I went down to eating one meal a day. Who'd have thought that you could do that?
Right.
And it's like, I'm healthy. You and I always talk about my outdoor pursuits, and,
Yeah.
and it's like, so I had the thought and I took the actions. I started experiencing, weight loss and more energy by eating less,
Yeah.
so it's like, I've been doing that now for a few months and I don't see stopping it. So, yeah, it's, everybody can do it. If I can do it, everybody can do it. But, I certainly needed help, and I got it from a lot of places, including you. And, so people can, create whatever they want for their lives. It's definitely possible.
It's absolutely possible. Tom, I really appreciate you coming on here. And the cool thing is that we will have you back again in who knows when, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, where there'll be another evolution 7.0 or whatever it's going to be, right? And but yeah, Tom, I really appreciate the working with you. Obviously we'll see where it goes, and who knows how it reculminates in moving forward. But I appreciate the trust and your willingness to every week for the whole time we worked together, you showed up and you did the work, and you're never afraid, no matter what was going on. And I appreciate that. And so thank you.
Yeah, I thank you for all the. I mean, a big impact was just organizing, the different levels of marketing, and then how to actually, I would talk too much about myself and my process, when the big deal was, to hear about their process and hear
Yes, right.
what's working for them, and then to sneak in the back door with, wouldn't it make sense that we have a conversation, or would you be open to a conversation? And that was deadly. That always got the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Awesome. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be back again with more great guests and more great information. So until then, go to work on your business and have some of this discipline, and definitely check out Tom's website. Thanks everyone. Take care.